Sometimes when I'm working on a document, I realize that the order of things that I've typed might be improved. This is going to let us talk about something called cut and paste, and another closely related feature called drag and drop. So let's go. I'm scrolling upwards, I'm going to find this paragraph whose label says easy listening, and I'm realizing I would like to change the order of these last two sentences. So one of the ways to do this is through what's called cut and paste. So I'm going to select the text that I want to cut. This was my step 1 of my 4-step process. Step 2, I'm going to make the cut. One of the ways to do that, right up here in the clipboard group, I'm going to hover over these scissors. As I do that, it tells me there's a keyboard shortcut for it, Control and X. Or if you're a big right clicker like I am, you can right click in the selected text and make a cut there. Now, since I have this on screen right now, I'm just going to go through with that, cut that sentence, and you'll see that it's gone. But it's not totally gone. It's being stored right now in an area of RAM memory called the clipboard, hence the name of this group of buttons here, the clipboard group. And now what I want to do is paste it, but before I paste it, I have to move the flashing insertion point to the place where I want to paste it. If I paste it right now, it's going to go right back in where I took it out. So my step 3 of my cut and paste is to place my flashing insertion point down here in this case, and then the last step is to paste. I'm going to go up here and hover over the paste button. It tells me there's a keyboard shortcut for that, Control V. You know, the V in paste. Yeah. I've heard of silent letters like the L in walk. The V in paste must not only be silent, apparently it's an invisible letter, the invisible V in paste. But I digress. So I'm just going to go click on that paste button, and that thing that I copied is pasted right in there. Why don't you go try that? Put our video on pause. Go select that sentence about you can find musical selections, blah, blah, blah. Cut it. Put the insertion point after tape of your choice, and then paste it, just like you saw me do. Maybe you'd like to right-click. Maybe you'd like to use the keyboard shortcut. But do a cut and a paste, and then come on back. Next, I'd like to talk about another way to quickly cut and paste. This is a method called drag and drop. And sometimes people discover drag and drop totally by mistake. So next I'd like to talk about the term drag and drop. This is a quick way to cut and paste. Many times people will discover drag and drop totally by mistake. Let's imagine, for example, that I would like to select this line about you will find our inventory is complete, blah, blah, blah. But I'm dragging to start selecting it, and I let go a little too early. And then I figure, I'll just go start that over again. I'll grab right over here, and I'll start dragging to the right, and all of a sudden, hey, wait a minute, those words have moved around. This doesn't make sense anymore. You will find that is complete. And how much you'll spend your purchase on our inventory, you'll find that is complete. Actually, you will find that was originally right over here next to our inventory. I just accidentally discovered drag and drop. The good news is I can now point at that selected object and drag it back here. Can you see the little tick mark following me around? I'm going to drop it right here before our inventory. I have just dragged and dropped to put that back in place. Only that was by accident. Let's see how I might now do that on purpose. I want to swap the order of these last two sentences. So one of the ways to do that, I'm going to select that whole sentence. And then instead of going through the cut and paste, I'm simply going to point in the middle of it, drag down, I see the little tick mark following me, drop it right at the end of the paragraph and let go. And I have cut and pasted through drag and drop. All right, again, this is your turn. So put our video on pause, rewind it if you need to. Don't bother doing the mistaken one, do the right one. Select that whole sentence, let go, point in the middle of it, drag it down, and you will have swapped the order quicker than copy and paste. So I'd like you to try that. Select that text, and then drag it down, and that's the quickest way to cut and paste. Catch up with me. Now that's all well and good if I'm moving things around inside of a document. But what if I want to copy something from one document to another? Let's talk about that for a moment. This is going to be copy and paste rather than cut and paste. So again, the steps are going to be foursquare. I have to select the thing to make a copy of. Then I have to make the copy. Then I have to place my insertion point where I want to paste. And then I do the pasting. Okay, so this time it won't disappear. I'm not cutting and pasting, I'm copying and pasting. But first, I want to have a new document. Now, we've seen that if we go up to the File menu and choose New, we've got all these templates here. What if I just want to make a brand new document? Well, there is a keyboard shortcut for this. It's Control and the letter N, as in New. And that's a pretty universal keyboard shortcut for pretty much every program you're going to see. Control N, not End. We know that Control End takes me to the end of my document. Control N makes a brand new document, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Control N. So there's a brand new document. And if I want to switch back and forth between the documents that I have open, I can do that down on my taskbar, which you can't see right now. Or in Word, I can go up to my View tab, and I've got a choice here about Switch Windows. And when I click on the Switch Windows button, here is my memo document is still open, here's my working large document is still open, and then here's the generic name Document 3 because I haven't saved it yet. But this will give me a place to paste what I wanted copied. So I'm going to switch windows back to my working large document. I'm going to go select maybe all of this right here, the label and that paragraph. And then I'm going to make a copy, not a cut. I don't want to disappear it out of this window. I just want to copy it. So here's the button for copying. As I hover, it tells me the keyboard shortcut for that is Control-C. No invisible letters there. I'm just going to click on copy. If I was doing this in Excel, I would see a flashing marquee around the thing I copied. In Word, you don't really get any clue that you've copied it. You just have to trust that you've copied it. And now I'm going to switch over to that other window, the new document I've just created. That was my View tab. Switch windows. Go into my newly created Document 3. And now I want to paste in there. Let's see. I don't see the paste command because I'm looking at the View tab right now. The paste command is over here under the Home tab, or Control-V, or any of those things that we've seen, right-clicking down here to paste. So I'm just going to paste that bad boy, and there it is right there. So this wasn't a cut and paste, this was a copy and paste. So why don't you try that? What was my keyboard shortcut for make a brand new document? Hopefully leaping to the tip of your tongue was Control and the letter N. And then to switch back and forth between the documents, we went to the View tab and switch windows. We went to Working Large Document. We selected the thing that we wanted to copy. Then we went to our View tab and switched windows back to the new document. And we pasted. So your turn. Catch up with me there. Rewind the video if you need to, but I think you got the steps in your head. Try it out. Catch up with me, copying and pasting between documents.